First off and always, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. So today I want to show you how to roll out a coil, okay? So the first thing you want is really squishy clay. If your clay is on the stiffer side, it's going to be really difficult to roll out a coil. So especially when you're first starting, you want to try, to prep yourself for success. So making something slightly smaller. And you want to learn how to do this as quickly as possible. The more quickly and efficiently you learn to do this, the easier it is to keep your clay moist and for the coils to be good. So the first thing is literally just kind of squish your clay into more of a coil shape already. The next thing is make sure you have a wide area available in front of you. If you have stuff right here and you're doing really tight T-Rex motions, you're not gonna be able to get as easy a coil as if you have more space. So the gesture we're kind of doing is we're going down and up like this. Now, this is an exaggerated motion. You're gonna be doing it real small, but the scooping motion is kind of the same. Also, I tend to keep my hands out wide. Now I'm just gently pushing. So right now you can already see that it got a little bit smoother, and I'm gonna move back and forth as I do this, okay? So you can see it's already starting to get a little bit longer. Now, this clay is nice and squishy. I already prepped and I know how to do this. So I can make this look pretty easy, but I am gonna show you some common mistakes and how to fix it fairly easily. Now, something that as you're getting longer, you want kind of the whole thing to be moving, and you wanna try to keep it as even as possible. So if there's certain areas that are thicker than others, target those areas and focus on the areas that you need to fix. So look and see, does it look nice and smooth? Are there divots? Are there areas you can even out? And continue. Now, depending on what you're trying to do, you can actually make really, really thin coils. So there's lots of different sizes that you can make, and it's just about how much effort and how skinny you want to make them. But we can make really tiny coils with the same process. All right, so here are some common mistakes. So first off, a lot of times students will try to use clay that is clearly too cracky or it's just too stiff. So like this side, maybe it seems like it's okay, but then once you start rolling, so at first it might look like it's kind of going okay, and then it wants to get a hole in it and it starts to crumble and fall apart. So if this is happening, you just need to get different clay. So the next thing is a lot of times students will just take their clay and they'll try to just force it. If you're just trying to force it and you haven't made it into something that's kind of round, it's gonna be really difficult to do. Also, it tends to get flat if you push real hard. So if I push real hard and I'm making like dents in this, it tends to get flat and floppy, where it just wants to settle like that instead of being round. So if that happens to you, you want to tap it into more of a square shape, because square is closer to round than rectangle, and then change something that you're doing. So once you've started kind of having that flat bit, it takes a little bit of effort to kind of get rid of it. But change something that you're doing. Change your pressure, change how your fingers are facing. Make sure you're doing that scooping motion, because if you don't change something, it's just gonna continue doing the same thing over and over, and nobody wants that. So once you have it where it's not flopping as much anymore, it's gonna be easier to continue the process, okay? But once you get the hang of this, your goal is to be able to roll out coils that are nice and even really quickly. All right, thanks everybody.